Joining me now is renowned director Penelope Spheeris, whose work over the last 3 decades includes The Decline of Western Civilization 1, 2, and 3, Wayne's World, and her latest, The Kid and I. Penelope is taking time out from writing her upcoming Janis Joplin feature film to talk with us today. Penelope, it's good to see you. Thanks for being on our show.
Thank you.
You might not remember this, but the last time I think we saw each other, I was walking west up Sunset Boulevard, and you were in the right lane heading west, and you stopped and went, Henry!
I know.
Penelope!
I know.
Traffic. Beep, beep. You're like, whatever. How are you doing? What are you up to? I'm like, oh, you know. And like, there's like half of LA is waiting to go back home or something.
Yeah.
And finally, I went, well, okay, see, yeah. So here you are again.
Well, I think about the time that I very first met you, which was back in early 80s or something. You had just come here from Washington, D.C.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were just, you know, hot shit.
Yeah.
in the scene around here. Everybody was like, do you know this guy Henry Rollins just came to town? Oh my God, you got to meet him, you got to meet him. And I thought, well, I think what I need to do is to put him as the lead in Suburbia.
Yeah.
So remember, I called you, asked you to come up to my office, you know.
At Santa Monica and Fairfax.
Right.
Yeah.
And you came in, and I kind of remember like almost being down on my knees begging you, please play the role of Jack in The Decline.
Yeah, and I wanted to.
Yeah.
And with the way Black Flag, the band I was in, the way that band was at that time, there is no way they were going to let me out of the hold to go do anything that wasn't Black Flag. It just was not going to happen.
Possessive.
It would have just been either you do the movie and we'll never talk to you again.
Oh, yeah.
But just FYI, it's not. It was never. I don't want to be in your film.
I'm too cool to be in your movie.
No, I'm not too cool for anything. I'm desperate for attention and employment. But so one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, when are the Decline films hitting DVD? Because I have looked for them.
I know.
And we've contacted you before, going, hey, Penelope, what's up with that? And so what is up with that?
Well, you know, a few years ago when I decided, okay, it's finally time to put these out on DVD, I went to my vault and I started digging out old cans of film, and I actually had more old stuff than I thought I had. So I sat down, and I swear I was like a year and a half putting little pieces of 16-millimeter film in the guillotine splicer and putting them together. It was like such a hard job. But then once I got them organized, then we started putting them into a digital form, and we're still working on it, you know. And I really want to have the Declines come out soon, but I want it to be right. For me, it's like, I don't really care about making money on it because I made my money other ways.
Right.
For me, it's about doing it right. Because when I'm dead and gone, no one's going to go, oh, that's a chick that did Wayne's World. They're going to go, that's a chick that did The Decline of Western Civilization. So it's got to be right.
Well, you know, I know a bit about those days, and the level of insanity at those gigs, you know, where you could go and lose an eye. You could go to a show and go to the hospital afterwards. There would be something in the parking lot, some kind of clash in the parking lot where the cops would come, the choppers are overhead, the tear gas. I mean, it was really something else.
I was sitting there talking to Greg Ginn when I'm trying to convince him from Black Flag to be in the movie. All of a sudden, this person comes up from behind me, grabs me by the neck, pulls me off of the chair. I'm like, what's going on here? And it was his girlfriend who thought I was trying to pick him up.
Oh.
Right? And then he went and punched her, and her tooth fell out on the ground. I mean, that's the way it was back then. And the chick's trying to find her tooth on the ground. And I'm like, what the hell am I getting into here?
I remember her.
You remember her?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I have some stories. There's so much vitality in that film. These young people, you know, living this amazing lifestyle, really heroic, charismatic people. I mean, they're just amazing. They really are.
In Decline 1.
Yeah. They're so different than, they're easily different than their parents.
Right.
You know, they came from other places. They ran away. They found themselves. Did you find yourself, you know, and you're a little older than they are, so you're looking at them as kind of an older person. Did you find yourself being inspired by them?
I was inspired once I got to understand really what the punk rock philosophy was all about. I've embraced it over the years and still live by what I believe those rules to be. And just the other night had this great dinner with these 10 people from Decline 3, and you know what? I just love those people. They're just, that's who I relate to on a philosophical level. They're just good, fine people, you know. If it's, I mean, I'm not talking about the poser punks. I'm not talking about the guy that goes out and gets a purple mohawk for the weekend or something. You know, I'm talking about the people that, you know what I'm talking about, the people that really believe the philosophy, you know. And so was I inspired by them? I have to say that in doing the documentaries that I've done over the years, they've changed my life, you know. Life isn't all about making movies. It's about living. And I've learned so much from making documentaries. And I've learned so much from punks.
The thing that was that you couldn't deny was the sincerity and the passion of these people. And it made everything around you just seem so jaded. It made adults seem jaded. And anyone who's bah humbug, like, well, here's the way. Well, really, here's some people who are showing you there could be some other way. And that was huge for me because I came from the military prep school. I was raised with sit down and shut up and all of that. And so punk rock really kind of opened me up.
Yeah.
Radically changing topics now into your other life as a very successful commercial director of big ass blockbusters.
I fell into it. You know, what can I tell you?
Well, let's talk about Wayne's World for a second.
One of my ex-boyfriends called me a waitress that got lucky. And that's why he's my ex-boyfriend. But anyway, go on.
Well, I would never call it luck. You know, talent is what you have. But it is interesting to come from, you know, you are so rooted in the independent film world. Yeah. And you know, that's where I know you from, because I've known you for many years. And then to see your name on Wayne's World.
I know.
I never said, sell out, what the fuck? I just kind of went, well, cool. Let's just see if the movie's good.
I only got that job on Wayne's World because I had done Decline Part 2.
Right.
About the metal years.
Yeah.
And nobody else in Hollywood really knew anything about heavy metal at the time. I just got that job because they didn't have anybody else.
Right.
You know. And it was my first studio job. It was my 7th movie.
Right.
You know, I was borrowing money from my sister right before I got the job. And then I became a millionaire overnight.
Right.
And it was like a total head spin, you know, because I mean, in my head still, I'm a poor person.
Yeah.
But, you know, now I have some money and a more comfortable life, but I can't do the movies that I want to do. You know, I could only do comedies. After I did Wayne's World, I could only do comedies. They wouldn't give me anything else. And so after a while, I just said, okay, I'll do the Beverly Hillbillies, I'll do the Little Rascals, you know, and then they just kept throwing this money at me. And then thank God, I had one that bombed that I did with Miramax called Senseless with Marlon Wayans and David Spade. But thank God, because at that point I was like going, what am I doing? You know, this money isn't making me happy. What am I doing? And I went up to Burning Man Festival, and some chicks came by when I was pitching a tent, and they slipped some ecstasy in my beer. And oh my God, I got so wasted. And I just had this, like, I think I died overnight and woke up in the morning and went, I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm not doing those studio movies anymore. And that's when I decided to go do Decline 3.
Wow.
It changed my life. I just had to get away from it, you know. It's not satisfying to do those big studio movies. It wasn't for me.
Right. Well, then let's talk about this Janis film, because obviously you're really into it, and everyone likes Janis Joplin. Why did you choose to do a movie about her?
I think Janis chose me, actually, because she was an inspiration to me, and I think that's why I haven't given up over the years. And to me, she's a hero. She's, you know, yes, she OD'd, and yes, she was an alcoholic, but more than that, she was brave and broke the rules and made her way in the music business when women weren't allowed to do what she was doing. And she was so ballsy and so just cool and funny and smart. Right. So for me, she's a role model, and that's why I want to make the movie. I think she's an inspiration. You know, I'm going to make a movie about a hero, not a person that, you know, screwed up and killed himself.
Right. Well, how's it going?
It's a long struggle, but you know, we had Pink for a while. Actually,
she can
2
sing
years.
Her ass off. She's so great.
We did the most awesome screen test with Pink, and she really nailed the music. That's for sure.
And also, she's just got so much She's got charisma.
Totally.
I mean, even you see her interview, you're like, a casting person would look at that and go like, get that, put her in something. She's got that thing, obviously.
So, welcome to Hollywood. That didn't work out, right? Then, they had me going out on interviews. I went and interviewed, I went and met Britney Spears, and she's a sweet girl. But we're still looking for our Janis Joplin. Right now, we're looking toward Kate Hudson. I don't know who's going to be Janis Joplin because Janis is up there pulling the strings. And when she figures it out, she'll let me know, hopefully.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I hope you get it done.
It's a good story. It's a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been a fan of yours ever since Decline, and I'm glad you're doing what you're doing, and I think it's really important what you do. So,
thank you.
And I look forward to the Janis film, and
Thank you.
thanks for being on our show.
Oh, you rock.
Thank you so much. Cool.
Henry is so cool. All right.
Coming up a bit later in the show, an exclusive musical.